The other day, I brought home a couple of small pizzas to surprise Vihaan. But as a scientist, I can't resist a good puzzle. So I gave him a choice. Vihaan, I said, you can have 2/3 of this pizza, or you can have 3/4 of that one. Which would you like? I could see the gears turning in his head. Even if we could see the slices, it's a tricky guess. But what if the choice was more complex, like 5/7 versus 6/9? Visualizing that is nearly impossible. That's why you need a mathematical method, a secret to solving any fraction. So I told him the secret is all about making the slices the same size. This is my little invention, the fraction slicer. It doesn't cook the pizza, it just helps us see the answer clearly. I told him to watch. Now, back to our puzzle, comparing 2/3 and 3/4. To compare them accurately, we need to slice both pizzas into the same number of equal pieces. We'll take the first pizza to represent 2/3. The slicer's first job is to find a common denominator. In this case, the smallest number that both 3 and 4 go into, which is 12. To turn the fraction's bottom number, 3, into 12, we multiply by 4. And the rule is, whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So 2 times 4 is 8. The slicer shows us that 2/3 is the exact same as 8/12. Now for the 3/4 pizza. To turn its bottom number, 4, into 12, we multiply by 3. So we do the same to the top. 3 times 3 is 9. And just like that, the slicer shows us that 3/4 is the same as 9/12. So now that both pizzas are sliced into 12 equal parts, we just have to count the number of slices for each option. For 2/3, we get 8 slices. For 3/4, we get 9 slices. And just like that, the puzzle was solved. It was easy for Vihaan to see that 9 slices is more than 8. That meant 3/4 was the bigger portion. Simple. But sometimes there are even faster ways to solve the puzzle. Here's shortcut number 1. For fractions with the same bottom number, like 3/8 and 5/8, you're comparing slices of the same size. So, the one with the bigger top number is always bigger. 5 is bigger than 3, so 5/8 is bigger. Now for the second shortcut, when the same top number is used, like 3/4 and 3/8, you have the same number of slices, but the slices are different sizes. The one with the smaller bottom number is bigger because the pizza is divided into fewer, much larger pieces. Okay, time for a quick puzzle for you. Which fraction is bigger, 2/5 or 2/8? If you guessed 2/5, you're exactly right. Since you have the same number of slices, you just need to see which slices are bigger. A pizza cut into 5 pieces has much bigger slices than a pizza cut into 8. This skill is incredibly useful when you need to arrange a whole set of different fractions in order, from smallest to largest. Let's try it with these 3: 1/2, 3/4, and 2/3. To put them in ascending order, we first need to make them speak the same language. We do that by finding a common denominator for 2, 4, and 3. In this case, it's 12. Now we convert them. 1/2 becomes 6/12. 3/4 becomes 9/12, and 2/3 becomes 8/12. Once the bottom numbers are the same, we just look at the top numbers, 6, 9, and 8. The smallest is 6, then 8, then 9. So the correct ascending order is 1/2, then 2/3, and the largest is 3/4. And with that, Vihaan wasn't puzzled anymore. He confidently picked the bigger portion, the 3/4, and we finally got to enjoy our pizza. So, the golden rule for comparing any fractions is simple. Find a common denominator, and the puzzle is solved. It turns a tricky question into a simple choice and makes for a delicious piece of math.